Morning, everybody. Welcome to another week. Welcome to another improvement nugget. If you've been following along with these, you've seen that we've done little series. We've just finished a series on tools. So I'm now going to move into a series on mindfulness. This is something that's been requested in some conversations. We've talked about everything you've learned if you've been watching these, that a lot of these lean tools will only work well if your culture is conducive to it. So we've spent time on culture, we've spent time on tools, and now we're going to get a little deeper, a little more granular into culture and talk about mindfulness and specifically some of the things that you can do personally to help be in a better mind space, which feeds the culture and makes it more conducive towards enjoying your work and seeking improvements and all of that. So what I want to talk about today is out of a book by David Allen called Getting Things Done. I've leveraged this book for a lot of different things. I use it to manage my email, to manage a lot of things in my life. But I specifically want to get into some task-oriented stuff out of this book. And I'm not going to get too deep because this is just a nugget. But what I've got up here is a flow that he talks about in there. And the book does have a lot of science of the brain and different things like that, which is very interesting to me and I think very helpful. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm going to focus on this flow chart and how a certain part of this can really help de-stress you. So what he talks about is everything that comes in, whether it's a task, request, an email, a phone call, is stuff. And as you take stuff, the first thing you want to ask yourself is there action to take? And if the answer is no, there's a whole other series there. We're not going to get into that, but there's something you do with that. If it's actionable and the answer is yes, then you have to ask yourself, does it take 2 minutes or less to do it? If the answer is yes, you do it. If the answer is no, and that's why I want to focus on this one, because most times this is going to be your answer. So now you have got to put it into some sort of task management system. There's lots of examples out there. Really doesn't matter which system you're using. What he talks about is now that it's on the list, for most people, most of the time, it's still on your brain. So when you have a moment where you're not busy or you have a moment where your brain can wander a little, it starts to go towards this task list, which is a waste of precious resources and energy. You're thinking about something that you're not working on. It's what he talks about in the book, and I do this from time to time. I don't do this with everything now because my task management system is so effective and efficient for me. I don't always need it, but when things get really tough, I definitely do this. What he talks about is not just having it on a task management system, but what is your first next step? You have to write this down. And the act of writing it down and committing to it will allow your brain the freedom to not be thinking about it anymore and to stay more in the moment. So a lot of people get these long task lists, stresses you out. That can have effect on your health. That can have effect on your business culture. That can have an effect on a lot of things, your family. So managing your stress is very important. And this is a great way to do it. Think about this flow, but specifically when you get over here, this is the part a lot of people miss. I have a task. By documenting what the first next thing is, you de-stress your brain of it. So he talks about that helping you understand where and when. So maybe it's something you have to do on your way home from work. There's no sense in thinking about that now. Can't execute it now. So getting a little extra granularity on your task list does a really amazing job of slightly de-stressing you. So we're going to keep going on some mindfulness. Next couple weeks, we're going to talk about different things. Some of it will be more depth on this, but there's lots of other things I have out there on mindfulness. So I hope you found this one enjoyable, and don't let your brain stress about those things that it doesn't have to.